Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Today's session is given by Sage Enterprise Intelligence. The topic for today's session is actionable insights with Sage Enterprise Intelligence. The duration of the session is 1 hour, and let me introduce our speakers for today. We have Mr. Y.S. Rao, Mr. Vivek, and Jim. Uh, we have a question and answer panel on the left hand side. So during the session, you can ask your questions, and the questions would be addressed at the end of the session. I'll pass on the. I'll invite Mr. Y.S. Rao to take the mic and start the session.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jai, for the introduction. Hope all of you are able to see my screen. Is everyone able to see my screen? Hello?
Yes, yes, the screen is visible.
Okay. Yeah, so thanks to Redington for organizing this particular webinar. And there's an interesting subject that is we are going to discuss about it, the enterprise intelligence. But I want to create a context, starting with digital transformation that we are going to talk about. So this is an agenda. I think most of you have already got it. Let me start with my introduction. My name is Y.S. Rao. I have almost 33 years of experience in the consulting business. Before, actually, I worked for industry for almost 12 years with different large organizations like Rolls-Royce and Baba Atomic Research Center and some cement and petrochemical industry. Later, I moved into consulting with ERP consulting, starting with Satyam Computers and subsequently Oracle and all other companies. So 23 years into the consulting division, consulting business, where we have been working with a lot of companies, small and big, identifying the potential pain problems, pain areas of our customers, and suggesting them the right kind of solutions, both on the ERP side and outside ERP and business analytics also. Okay, let me create a context by using the digital transformation. Why I want to do this one is that the digital transformation today, if you look at across the globe, everybody is talking about digital transformation, and people have different opinions, different meanings, different interpretations about digital transformation. But obviously, the digital transformation today is it has been there and it was there, but only the pandemic has actually accelerated the companies to adopt the digital transformation. So what is the digital transformation is all about? So actually we look at our own business, how we are running our business presently, what is that impact that is there in the digital world across the globe, and how I'm going to run my business and compete with them, thrive, and whatever I need to do in terms of my process changes, organizational structural changes, capabilities point of view. So that is what we look at the digital transformation is all about, right? So where we are using digital assets in creating a value for the organization. So digitalization is we do business digitalization to enhance our customer experience. We want to see my customer, how I can best serve my customer, maximize my sales, or improve my operational efficiencies, improve my product, everything. That is what I'm looking at. But certainly there should be some business objective around this digital transformation. Okay, so I will not take much of our time on this one, so because we want to see the product behind this. But certainly there are certain points I just want to drive through, making the digital transformation, or why digital transformation is important and why data is important for the digital transformation. Okay, so let us talk about the digital transformation. The first point is, do you have your business meaning, or what you want to do? What is your business value that driven strategy? What do you want to achieve? What is the objective that you want to achieve as an organization? So your business strategy is your digital strategy. If you have, if you identify the problem statement, you have a clarity on the problem statement, then digital, the technology will help you to alleviate that particular problem and give you some solutions around that. And that is where your business has to be aligned with your digital strategy. Then your digital strategy should also align with the data strategy. So that is where I want to drive this, the entire conversation is all about, right? So underpin your digital strategy with data strategy. Where do I need this data? What data is required? What information is important to me to take any decisions? How I'm going to get this data? So what is that I'm going to, interpret this particular data? How do I want to see this particular data? So these are all very, very important when you look at your digital transformation engagement itself. All right. So the third and important thing is, it is not that a leader, like most of you as a digital leader, you want to implement certain things, but at the same time, you also need to create the culture within the organization. The culture means everybody in the organization should get an awareness of what is it all about, why are we doing it, and what is my contribution in terms of creating that particular data. Okay, so it is all data native or data culture that is needs to be created. And of course, the IT department has to do the operational model and governance framework, which is of course important, because you cannot leave it to the individual users to drive your organization in terms of your digital transformation, right? So the importance of the data and data analytics. Now we thought that, okay, when we get into any digital transformation, why data is important? The data analytics is important. So data helps us in sensing, comprehending, acting, and learning from this one. So what is sensing? So I need to identify what is the problem, what is that I want to achieve. I want to achieve my operational efficiency, my profits, my customer retention. So this sense your what exactly you want to do that. Then the comprehend, identify from the data, identify the patterns. How I am going to identify, I am going to interpret that particular information so that I can derive and I can take some timely actions to do that. And so whatever it is, whether it's a physical action or a digital action that I'm going to do as an act itself. And then from that one, I'm also learning and actually optimizing this entire thing. So the entire thing, data analytics in any digital transformation or any engagement with the digital is going to be very, very important, because you need to understand, you need to sense, comprehend, act, and learn this one. Now the technologies are actually, so that is also an important factor. A lot of people, when we work with the companies, they come with the technology first than the business problem. But we always tell them that technology doesn't come first. The problem comes first and the technology will come later. Okay, which technology to be used? Today people are actually bogged down with lots of technologies around. So they are very confused which technology to be used. Is it a machine learning or a deep learning? Is artificial intelligence? Is it IoT? So there are a lot of different technologies have come. If you look at on the left side of this one, some numbers I have taken it one. The data is increasing because of you have a cloud, you have mobiles, you have companies using one or the other ERP systems. There are transactional data is being created. This data, to handle this data, you have some new systems, new technologies to handle this data. To understand the data, to identify the patterns of the data, you need certain algorithms which can be created by your machine learning and deep learning. And how I'm going to capture that particular information? So can I use a sensor? Can I use an IoT? Can I where I'm going to store the data? Because it's going to be huge data. If you look at this one, say 1 trillion photos are being taken for on the web itself, and every day huge amount of data is coming out. Okay, so this data, the technology is also has created a lot of data itself. So for example, IoT has created a lot of data, mobiles have created a lot of data. Now handling the data is very, very, very important for us. So the information today's the fuel is the data. That is where I am trying to drive that, why the data is important, and what are we going to do with this data. So let me go to our Sage Intelligence, Sage Enterprise Intelligence. What is Sage Enterprise Intelligence? Enterprise Intelligence is a tool given to the users itself. So when I'm saying that this is an IT tool, but of course it will be given to each and every employee, whoever is interested to make data-driven decisions. Okay, we talked about the data importance, and now if people started taking the data, all your employees, it is not that only the management or the CEO or the IT department talks about the data. Everyone needs to talk about this particular data. So now, if I'm going to take an actionable insights, if I can see the entire organization, what is happening in each and every silos of the departments, each department, there is completely a relationship between whatever it is. If my sales are not doing performing well, or my margins are not not good, there could be something from the production itself, or your from raw materials itself, or your quality issues itself. So can I see this entire data in a single place? That is more important to me. So that is where the Sage Enterprise Intelligence started in 2013, has actually built an application, an analytic application, data application, and which of course closely integrated with Sage applications itself. So you can talk about Sage 100, 300, 500, Sage X3, and some other the CRM applications. All this data comes together, and from the data I'm creating, the Sage Enterprise SCI is creating an actionable insight from the data itself, and I'm able to slice, dice, and drill down into the transaction level. And of course, I can share this information very easily, I can create this information very easily, and I can actually combine with other data coming from other systems itself, and I can actually use my Excel analysis, consolidation of multiple data sources into a single data source. This is what the power of Sage Enterprise Intelligence itself. So this is what we are going to go and see that, right? So before going to the product demo, till now, if you have any questions, maybe I think you can share your questions. We will take it up at the end of this one. So let me start the demo itself. Okay. So let me log in once again. Okay, Sage Intelligence. This is the login page for Sage Enterprise Intelligence. I can, as an administrator, I can use my login. So this is the landing page of Sage Enterprise Intelligence. Okay, hope you are all able to see this particular screen, right? So here, this is my role as an admin user. So whoever user, whatever the profiles that has been identified and given and access to, so he will be able to see the list of data models, views, etc from this one. So uh, just in one minute, let me explain to you. This is called the command center, where you can see all your data models and views, your dashboards, your reports, and also you can have your favorites, where you can actually store the important favorites in this particular space. Now let's talk about the data models and views. So here it has been organized based on different data models. Okay, so there is sales, there are finance, CRM. So these are all different data models. What it means here is the entire data related to the sales part of it, the sales invoices, that the financial sales point of view, or orders, or the logistics, purchasing. You can see all of this is available. They're organized in such a way that the entire data models have been created. From the data model, you can have multiple views here. So you can see, talk about the inventory analysis. So if I click here, there are all multiple views are available. And similarly, if I go to orders, I can see multiple ones. So let me show you one of them. Okay, so the moment you open any of this one, so you'll get a selection page. If you want to restrict the data to be displayed here, you can actually use these parameters to select that. Let me select all of them. Okay, so this is invoice by customer data. Okay, so this has been pre-built, and most of this you can see the left side, whatever views and dashboards are all there, it will come to you, when you implement or install SEI, this one by default you will get all this one. So that is the beauty of this entire thing, because you don't need to create all of them. So when we know that data is important to us, and we used to do the projects anything between 6 months to 1 year, the data warehousing projects, we used to build these data warehouses for taking data from multiple sources, putting into a data warehouse, create a queue, and then create your visualization, the entire reporting, etc. That used to be that. Now everything is available to you, and it works very closely with your existing Sage applications, whether it is whatever version that you are presently using, 100 or 300, 500 or X3 application. So whatever I'm showing is actually an X3 application. We are connected to the X3 server, X3 database. Completely, the data has been pulled from the X3 database, and this is all available. So from a 6 months to 1 year project, like a data warehousing project, now we are in a position to set it up completely, configure and deliver it to a customer, train the users how to navigate through this application, anything between 2 to 4 weeks of that. So from 6 months to 1 year project has been condensed to a 2 to 4 weeks kind of thing, and with all pre-built templates for you. These pre-built templates comes with this one. Now the important thing is how easy it is. Do I need a technical person? Do I need an IT person to be involved to create this or modify any of these reports? It is not, right? The users themselves, the best one, that is the power of this particular application, because the users, they have a different way of thinking the business problem. Okay, they can actually quickly create their own report and look at the data, analyze the data, identify the problem, what is the problem, then they can take the corrective actions here. Now this, any of these reports are this is, there are different views are also there, view types are also there. So this is one of the tabular kind of a view, and you can also see if I open this. This is order versus, this is the graph that I have, and I have here maybe a different bar chart, a vertical bar chart. So the same data, what you are looking at here, that can be multiple ways that you can visualize this particular data. I want to change this particular data. I want to view it differently. I can maybe a vertical bar. I can actually change this entire data. So whatever has been horizontal bar can be converted into a vertical bar. And same thing, even a tabular, whatever information available in the table, if I want to view it in a different way, I can view it in the different way. So system provides you multiple options the way that you want to look at the data, because the power of the data is very important. The how you present the data is also very important to your management, right? So these are all the various things here. So now let me also talk about some of the user-friendly features that. So here I have any report what you have, can have a groups, pivots, and the columns. So these are all can be created. Whatever data I want to see as a columnar data, I can have it. Whatever groups I can have it here. So you can see here customer code and document number. What it means here is, if I drill down from this one, from the year, okay, in this year, these are all the customers, okay, and even within the customer itself, if you want to know what is a document number, that is a sales order number, I can go to the clicking into the sales order number, and I have product code, a date and date type, and all that information related to the quantity sold, my invoice amount, the cost, margin percentage, etc., all this information. Okay, this is the standard report that has come as part of your implementation. Assume that, right? Now I want to see it differently. I didn't like this particular report. I want to add some additional information. I don't want to see the for example, the type code. So I can just go and remove this. Okay, now this has gone. Now I want to bring a different one. I can actually bring another column directly into this one. So I want to see here the customer code and document number. Now, in addition to the year, I also want to bring in maybe quarter. So here you can have the dimensions here. So this particular bar, the right side bar, will give you a lot of features that can be done on each of these documents itself. Now let me see the dimensions on this one. I want to add one more dimension to this year. So let me go to the dimension, and it is all organized. I'm looking at the time part of it. I want this quarter also to be included here. Okay, let me bring it here. Yeah. So this is simply a drag and drop. So now after the year, when I click it here, so the quarter will come here, the Q1, Q2, Q3, 4. And then after that, my customer code is coming here, right? So I can create this particular, any of these views, or we will go into the other, types of, reporting. But in this simple report, if I want to add a particular column, or maybe a drill down group, I can actually drag and create this one. Now, okay, the quarter is all good, it is all happy, but I want it to be like a pivot, that is. So I want to see this report on 4 quarters together. So now you can see this data now. This is Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Okay, so this is very important feature, because users can simply drag and drop and create their reports itself. Now let me also show you something interesting here. In addition to that, let me take this back to quarter year. Okay, now importantly, I want to see certain information maybe more easily. I want to this one here. I have my margin percentages. Okay, so here I want to see my margin percentage with certain values that I want to do in the meaning that, okay, my margin, if it is less than 50% of the margin, okay, and I want to show it in the in less than 50% is red color. Let me go to the margin and right click your column formatting. Okay, now I'm adding a conditional one where the value condition is actually less than 50%, and I want this font an icon here. Okay, so it is maybe a red one, or red flag. So let me use red button here. Okay, so it's okay. Now if you can see this, or otherwise I also want to add one more for more than, greater than or equal to 50, and I want this to be, the icon is going to be a green color. Now it's okay. Now you can see that the data here, and it can give you, once you drill down, because you can identify which orders or which customer has the margins are less here. Okay, which invoices actually the margins are here less here. So this kind of formatting, and you can see, you can change the color of this. If you want to change this color of this border, you want subtotals to be done. All these things you can do by just like that, right? So it doesn't take much of your time. The entire thing can be created. I'm talking about an existing report, how you can modify it. Even if you want to create a new report, new one, from this data models itself, you can actually create, because the data is already available to you. So the dimensions and every measures are all available to you. So if you want to pull up the data from different sources, one is from the customer information, another is from my sales order information, another is from my manufacturing module. I can just pull all this data into one report, and I can create the report in minutes. Okay, this is the power that we were talking about. Okay. Let me see. And once I modify this one, so for example, I modified this particular one, I can actually save it, save changes. I can save as a different name, because this is the report I want to use it continuously. I can save as a different one. And other important information I want to share with you also, that so here the system provides you to export this particular data into a, maybe you can export in different formats, a PDF or Excel or CSV file or HTML file, and you can actually you want to manipulate the data, you can manipulate the data. And at the same time, you can also share this information. So you want to send some comments. So maybe I want to send a comment, I want to understand why some information. So it takes a screenshot of that particular data here. Now I want to see why this information, so I can actually mark it, and I'll say that why this particular, I want an explanation on this particular information. I can give comments on this, and I can say, please explain this particular part of it. I can send it to the respective people. I can, I can mail it. I can save it. Okay. So these are all the things that I can do. And one more important thing here is that from this one, so the sharing itself, all right. So I can subscribe in the sense here, I can say that this particular report on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, this has to be delivered to those so and so people. So if I can say that this is, the action is export and email, okay, export and save it on a network drive so that the people can see the recipients to whom it has to be delivered, and their email, the description, the body, everything, and you can create your schedule itself. So can it be done on a weekly basis, or a week, in a weekly? So if it is a week, then what is the day? So Wednesday, every Wednesday I want to send it to these people and email this particular report. And if we are sending it to people outside the system, that they don't use the Sage application, right? So then it is a static data for them. But if people are using the X3 itself or a Sage application itself, it's a completely dynamic data. Whatever data that you are sending it at any point in time, if the system is sending on a weekly basis, okay, whenever it is sending, that is the live data that is actually captured and sent it to the respective people. It's not a static data that has been, sort of old data kind of thing. Okay. So these are all the various features. I can have different view types. I can worksheet properties. We talked about it. I can change the column header, colors, all this information. I can change it. I can save it in. I can also create a filter in this one. So for example, if the filter is that I want to here, sorry, let me back to that. Okay, you can see this filter here. So if this has a complete information, assume that this has a complete information for all the 2013 and 2020 kind of. So I want to see only one 2019 information only. I can actually do that and do a filter here. So add a filter or remove a filter by selection. If I say I want only 2019 information, and the filter is here, you can see at the bottom here. The filter is, so all that information that what you are seeing is 2019 information, and all the quarters here. And even the percentage margins here also you can see here. And you can further drill down and see if there is any orders where you have a negative less than 50% this one. Okay. So this is on the on the views. We are talking about the data models and views, and you can talk about any of this one. So any of these reports in a different format, you can change that one. In finance, you have all the APAR current aging reports. Okay, here current aging report, historical aging. You can see here the aging that has been created 1 to 30 days, 30 to 60 days, and 61 to 60 to 90 days, 90 plus days. So this is all a different kind of a report, particularly for the finance people to want to see what is the aging for the receivables here. Okay. Okay. So let me go to the next level of the visualization here. So you can see this, the dashboards. Dashboards will give you even a better view in terms of multiple data coming into one particular kind of a screen for you. So if you look at here, this is the dashboard. So these are all the different dashboards are available, and system provides you multiple dashboards. So for example, the finance CFO dashboard. And one important thing is even the dashboards you can customize very easily. Even the managers who are actually using it, they themselves can create their own dashboard, what information they want to see and how that information can be presented. So you can see here there are multiple data available here. This is the gross margin progression. This is income information, the payable information. This is ratio progression, liquidity ratio, and all the stuff. So if you want to see this particular data, okay, either you can toggle here, okay, and if you want to mark some comments on this one, you can do that, or you can actually create a new it can open in a new screen itself. Okay, so this is another one where you want to share it with somebody. You can share it, you can export, you can email it, everything you can do that. Okay, so these are all multiple information you are bringing together at one single place. That's the dashboard, which can give you much more information for any decision making, and particularly for the management itself. So these dashboard, because they don't want to look at all that information, the transactional information on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so these are all various ones. And if you want to add a new one into this particular one, so for example, this is in the CFO dashboard. I don't want to see this this report. I don't want. You can actually edit this particular dashboard. Okay, so edit. You want to remove this. You can remove this, and this space you want to add something. Maybe one report on returns. I'm just taking some random example. I'll take a simple one. So let me take this particular one. So this I want to bring it here. You can bring it here, and now your dashboard has a different data altogether here. Okay, so this is so easy, and just drag and drop, create your own reports, create your own dashboards, and create your own documents itself. And you can actually change the fiscal year, whatever information that you want to see, the fiscal year for this particular company. You apply that, all the data will get modified to that particular one. Okay, this is a very powerful application that sits on the Sage data together, and also some external data if you want to bring some additional data, because you may be using some other applications for some other purpose, like maybe Salesforce for your sales CRM kind of requirement. So you want to bring the data into this, you can do that. Okay, and another one, I just want to show you how if you change a particular parameter here, or maybe a criteria here, how that is going to be impacting on all these areas, all these areas. One. Sales invoice analysis. Let me take this. Accounts receivables analysis here. You can see these are all multiple parameters on which you can actually create your own dashboards itself. So these are all different background. You can have your themes here. There are multiple themes provided. If you want to see the background as a black or white or different colors, and all these schemes you can actually create on your own, and it's also available as a standard thing to you. So this is all about the dashboards. So the next one is the report. These are all mostly financial reports where you can have your financial, maybe year-end reports, like your statement of account, your trial balance, yeah, income statement, your trial balance, etc. So these are all available to you out of the box, where you can use that information. Let me use the legislation, USA legislation. You can see this income statement in this one. So you can actually customize if you need in a different way. You want what information to be added as a part of a revenue, all that you can do that. So this is all different type of the financial reports is all available here. Okay. Sorry, it is a bit slow. Okay, sorry for that. And it also comes with beautiful help of documentation for all your Sage Enterprise Intelligence, as well as the UDM, that is Universal Data Model. Universal Data Model is actually at a high level, where it can also take that other data from other systems and create your own data models from multiple data sources itself. And it particularly it's very flexible. You can create your own, and of course most of them are available, so you don't need to create a lot of things. But user specific requirement, any user specific requirement, if they want to create their own reports, that I have already shown you how that can be created on this application. Okay. Yeah, and this particular enterprise intelligence is also available on mobile. So this is browser, any browser that you can use, any system you can use, whether it's a web or mobile, that is all available to you. Okay, that is one thing, because people use nowadays, the mobile phones or iPads, etc. So they can actually take this particular data on the go, and wherever they can see that one. So, and even they don't need to log into the application. If you schedule your reports and what kind of information that you want to see on a regular basis, you can schedule it, and you will get mails or that information to you delivered to your device itself, your mobile phone, your laptop or iPad or kind of a thing, right? So that is all available here. Okay, so any questions now? Can we take some questions? I didn't see much of questions here. So this is open for questions now. If anyone has any questions. Hello.
Hi all. You can drop your questions on the left-hand side. There's a question and answer tab. You can drop in your questions, and Mr. Y.S. Rao will address those questions.
I assume some of you are already using Sage applications, or Sage. You're a customer of Sage already. And as I mentioned earlier, this works on 100, 300, 500, X3, any kind of Sage application, and outside Sage applications also. And this is what you are creating as a foundation for your digital transformation, because now I have already shown you the technologies that are all available now, and we did, some of the customers. Actually, I want to show that one more case study, okay, which I will, if there is no questions, I will go ahead and talk about the case study itself. And this is a real case study that we have done for a retail industry company, where they have a lot of distribution, and they are very nervous about what is happening in the organization. But we could get all that information together and created some kind of algorithms to find out what is the pattern, why it is happening. So those kind of things, that is, for that you need, this is a baseline, right? So all your people in the organization should understand the importance of the data, how they can look at their their business, their within their unit itself, within their own department, whether it's financials or procurement or sales department, how they can see the data, whatever is available to them, and take some corrective actions, and understand, learn something new about how it is happening, why it is happening, right? So this is very important. This becomes a your foundation for all your digital engagements going forward. Okay, so we have seen customers using IoT devices to capture the data, inventory data. People are using cameras to capture, or sensors to capture what is the inventory available to me. And some people are using the unstructured data, which is traffic data, because my distribution network is getting disturbed because of certain times, because of the traffic that is all there. I don't control the traffic, but I don't have the information about the traffic. That information can help you to schedule your deliveries to your customer, right? And similarly, a lot of people are using this advanced technology, machine learning and other things, to identify the problems itself. Like, if a large refinery kind of an organization, how I'm going to maintain my equipment, right? So my equipment, there is a preventive maintenance I am supposed to do, predictive maintenance. I have to make sure that the plant, the refinery is not shutting down very frequently. how do I capture that information? So I use sensors to capture my parameters, on the in the refinery itself. Each and every equipment gives me some sensor data. What is the temperature? What is the vibration level? What is my bearing temperature? So this information helps me to identify problem in advance and take corrective actions, and then proceed with that. So I'm saving a lot of my production time, saving a lot of my my operational cost in terms of my spare parts consumption. And when it is a when the system breaks down, then it is more damage to me in terms of money and manpower, right? So that is where we use this this data, this particular data analytics, to take right decisions and take it forward. Okay. So to talk about the use case, I want to talk about this use case. One of our customer, FMCG customer, they have 3 manufacturing facilities spread across different locations and distribution warehouses and 20 delivery centers. Okay, they have a huge product range and different price structures, different sales channels, and obviously they have a competition, right? So these are all the contributing factors. Of course, this is an analysis that we have done along with them to identify where the problems are all. So there is a problem identified. There is a frequent stockouts and delayed deliveries. So the reasons are, there are multiple, but of course the top 3 reasons is going to be the lack of information or the communication delays that are all happening, lack of collaboration among the stakeholders, because I need to collaborate with my suppliers, because they supply the raw material, I manufacture, distribute. My distribution network is also something like maybe a third party managed kind of a thing, some warehouses. So this collaboration is very, very important. So they identified this particular problem with the data that has been created. So when it is being delivered, why it is getting delayed to customer, what is happening in between. So we used even some of the sensors to capture some movement of the trucks and other things also to capture that particular data. That data gives us a lot of insights why it is happening. All right. So the next step that what we have taken is we have created the entire data from all these like production, your supplier information, your distribution information, the consumer information, all this information bringing together into a supply chain control tower kind of a thing. So the data is available. See, I'm not looking the data independently now. I'm not only looking at my customer information. I'm not looking only at my distributor information, but I'm combining everything, because everything is all linked to me. So that information, if I'm able to see with a global view, I'm able to see some relation somewhere else. That is where this entire supply chain control is. So the data engine, the complete data engine actually works in multiple data sources like financial data, demand data, inventory data, and all this data is all available to me. So from this, the descriptive analysis, predictive projection, predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics. So what is happening, why it is happening, what will happen next if this is a trend going on, okay? What is the effect it can make in the future if it is continuing to do that one. So these are all the various, that the baseline for all these things is the only data, right? So that is what we are talking about. That's what we are talking about. We're creating an intelligence around this particular data itself. That is an important factor here, right? So once we have all this data, we analyze, we identify the problem, then the visibility across all this stuff. So the data is now visible globally, and the operations are all integrated and connected together, because we identified there is a lapses in terms of communication between these stakeholders. So somebody is booking an order but is not informing the production itself. And somebody, the warehouse is actually completely overloaded with particular material but is not informed back to the sales team that some material is lying in their warehouse for a longer period of time. So this is all the integrated operations. This is integrated data. Then we can come up with solutions around that, what needs to be done to do that. Until unless you have the data, right data, to understand the problem statement, understand what is happening, why it is happening, and then we can have an intelligent recommendation that we can say, okay, you use these technologies and you can bring it So you can also see the external data. We are talking about the weather and even social lending. Okay, the weather data, traffic data, your transportation, data. They're all very, very important. Even raw materials, right? So the quality of the raw material also impact your production, impact your product quality, your finished product quality, impact your customer satisfaction levels. All that information is important, and that is where the data is important. So SCI plays an important role to that extent because it's already integrated. It's already pre-built templates are there. You don't need to do anything. It is not a big project like 6 to 1 year project. This is all available right in front of you, just in 1 or 2 weeks or 2 weeks, depends on size of the organization and the size of operations. Anything between 2 to 4 weeks, that is what we actually do the implementation and deliver our solutions to customers. Okay, so yeah, so maybe I'm almost at the time. If you have any questions, I can respond to that. And you can reach out to us. We have Jim. Jim is our business development manager, and Vivek from Redington. So both of them are available to you. You can reach out to that. We can jointly work, identify, and we can help in in improving your performance of all the things. So again, coming back to the question. So if you have any questions, I just want to hear from you. If you don't have any questions, you can also give feedback, right? So hello.
I think there are no questions from the attendees.
Okay.
What I'll do is I'll drop in everyone's email so everyone can reach out to you in case they have any questions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm just dropping the speakers' emails. Thank you everyone for joining. You can always reach out to the emails that I'm sending on the chat. Mr. Y.S. Rao. This is Vivek from Redington. And this is Jim's email from Triad. In case you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to them and they will address to your questions. Thank you so much, Mr. Rao. Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Mr. Vivek, for giving us an insightful session. And hope you all have a very good day. Thank you, all the
Thank you,
attendees
everyone.
for joining.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time and thanks for joining our webinar. So
Thank
you
you.
can
Thank
reach out to any of these mail IDs that has been provided. So yeah, so we love to work with you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being a part of this session.